Hello, friend. I'm Hope, and I'm really glad you're here today. Welcome to English with Hope, a calm space for your mind and your heart. In this channel, you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to rush. Here, we learn English slowly. We listen to English gently. No pressure, no stress. And here, you are not alone. Wherever you are in the world, I'm right here with you. So relax your shoulders, take a slow breath, and let's begin. Every single day, human beings step out of their front doors into a very loud world. We see advertisements on the street. We look at videos on our phones, and we listen to the busy choices of people around us. It is a completely natural human pattern to look around and wonder if we are living correctly. We often watch the crowd to find a map for our own personal daily habits. But this journey of life is not a fixed framework where every single person must have the exact same shape. You are not a single leaf that must move exactly like every other leaf on the tree. You can think of your life like a warm cup of coffee that you get to mix exactly the way you like it. There is a profound piece of truth we must sit with today. You can't be comfortable with yourself if you don't know who yourself is. If you are always busy looking at the crowd, how can you hear the quiet rhythm of your own heart? This path is not a race to be won, but an open space to be explored at your own unforced pace. You are moving in complete harmony with your own unique season. Isn't it a beautiful relief when we finally stop rushing to match someone else's timeline? Let us sit down together, buy a warm cup of coffee, and see why being a little different might be absolutely wonderful. Today, we are going to look closely at our daily habits and expectations. By spending this quiet time with me, you are going to find a clear sense of inner stillness. We will discover how to trust the small, personal choices that make our lives truly work. You will see that you do not need to change your style or your thoughts just to please the crowd. Instead, you will learn to enjoy the comfort of your own unique rhythm without any pressure. We are going to move directly away from the busy expectations of social circles and television networks. We will step toward a wide and refreshing perspective on who you want to be. Have you ever noticed how much lighter your heart feels when you decide to leave the heavy weight of the world outside? Let us move forward now to look at the first deep truth of our conversation. Why do we look around to see how we should live? It is very common to wake up and immediately check what other people are doing. We open our phones to see how our friends spend their mornings. We read articles that tell us how a successful professional ought to plan their week. It feels like an automatic habit to copy the exact patterns we see on our screens. But have you ever noticed how exhausting it is to constantly mirror a life that belongs to someone else? When we try to match a rhythm that is not our own, our days begin to feel forced and stressful. We spend so much time studying the crowd that we completely forget to check our own comfort. True self-confidence does not start with external approval from your peers. True self-confidence begins with a simple look inside your own mind. Let us think about a beautiful reality together right now. There is roughly close to, I guess, about 8 billion people on this planet. But there is only one you. Your specific voice, your personal preferences, and your quiet ideas can never be exactly repeated. So, why do we use our limited time trying to copy someone else's story? You won't find confidence in yourself if you're so busy trying to figure out what everybody around you thinks you ought to be and then match that, because you're not going to make people around you happy. When you drop the unwritten rule that says you must blend in, you open a beautiful door to clarity. Don't let social media and culture and television and media tell you how you should be and what you should be and who you should be. You realize that you can look at the busy choices of others with total kindness without needing to imitate them. You can appreciate their path while keeping your own feet firmly on your own ground. I don't ask, what is everybody around me doing? And so that's what I need to do. I don't look like the sheep. I'm me. How much energy do we waste simply trying to be a perfect copy of someone else? Imagine the freedom of waking up tomorrow morning and not asking what the rest of the world expects from you. Imagine simply asking what small, honest things make your own heart feel steady and warm. You can proudly look at your reflection and say, I saw no need to change. I was me, and I could go on being me, the same as I could go on trying to look like somebody else. It might be as simple as drinking your hot coffee in complete silence before your house gets busy. Or maybe it means wearing an old, comfortable shirt that makes you smile, even if it is not in style. Those tiny choices are where your authentic life actually begins to grow. Every time you honor your personal rhythm, you build a solid foundation of self-knowledge. You can't be comfortable with yourself if you don't know who yourself is. It's not a bad thing to be unique. It's not a bad thing to be different. It's not a bad thing to be comfortable with yourself, regardless of what everybody else around you is doing. You give yourself the safe permission to step away from the loud trends of the day. And that quiet choice is not lonely. It is a wonderful and beautiful act of freedom. When we step away from the heavy pressure of the crowd, we find that being us, it works. What if your unique habits are your best source of peace? We often spend so much time looking at the lives of others that we forget what makes our own days feel soft and easy. We look at social media platforms and see people waking up at 4 in the morning to exercise. We see them eating perfect meals and drinking green juices in beautifully decorated modern kitchens. And silently, without even noticing, we start to tell ourselves that our own quiet habits are somehow wrong or lazy. But let us be completely honest with each other right now. Have you ever noticed the deep exhaustion that comes from forcing your life into a shape that was made for someone else? When you try to copy a routine that does not belong to you, your days begin to feel like an uncomfortable pair of tight shoes. You are constantly checking yourself, adjusting your words, and hiding your true preferences just to fit an invisible standard. But what if the very things that make you different are actually the places where your true happiness lives? Think about the small, united moments of your day that bring a sudden, genuine smile to your face. Maybe you love listening to old songs from your childhood while you wash the breakfast dishes. Maybe your favorite thing in the world is to sit on your balcony and watch the raindrops hit the glass on a quiet Friday evening. Or perhaps you find an incredible sense of order and peace when you spend an hour organizing your old books by color. These habits do not need to be loud, and they certainly do not need to look impressive on a phone screen. When you accept these quiet parts of yourself, you stop fighting against the natural current of your own life. You realize that it is not a flaw to prefer a quiet night at home with a simple notebook over a crowded, noisy dinner party. Imagine how much lighter your chest feels when you finally tell yourself, "This is how I am, and this is completely okay." We don't need to live our lives in a constant state of comparison, trying to prove our value to people who aren't even watching. Your life belongs to you, and the simple things that make your heart feel warm are the only guideposts you ever need to follow. When we finally drop the exhausting pressure to match the crowd, we look at our simple daily routines and realize that being us, it works. How do we learn to trust our quiet, personal choices? Trusting yourself can feel like a very difficult thing to do in a world that is constantly giving you directions. From the moment we wake up, television networks, advertisements, and social circles are whispering instructions into our ears. They tell us what kind of clothes we should wear to look successful. They tell us what kinds of holidays we should celebrate and how much money we need to spend to show love. If we are not careful, we start to let these external voices become the main drivers of our personal choices. How do we start to build a solid wall of protection around our own true identity? It begins by learning how to trust the quiet thoughts you have when you are completely alone. Think about a time when you made a choice simply because it felt right to you, even if nobody else understood it. Maybe you decided to keep a piece of old, comfortable furniture that your friends told you to throw away. Or maybe you chose to spend your weekend gardening in the dirt instead of attending a popular local event. In that exact moment, when you chose your own comfort over public opinion, you are practicing true self-confidence. You can't be comfortable with yourself if you don't know who yourself is. And you won't find confidence in yourself if you're so busy trying to figure out what everybody around you thinks you ought to be, and then match that. Because you're not going to make people around you happy. Isn't that a powerful realization? You can spend your entire life changing your colors like a chameleon to make the crowd happy, and they will still ask for something different. So, why not choose the only person whose happiness you can actually control? Why not choose to make your own soul feel comfortable and safe? When you start to trust your own taste in clothes, your own style of working, and your own rhythm of resting, something beautiful happens. The loud opinions of the world start to sound like distant traffic outside a closed window. You can hear them, but they no longer have the power to disturb the quiet warmth inside your room. You can look at your life with a calm smile and know that you are standing firmly on your own 2 feet, living by your own true terms. Can we appreciate others without wanting to look like them? It is a beautiful thing to look at the world and see so many different ways of living. We might have a friend who loves to travel constantly, moving from one big city to another with a small backpack. We might see a colleague who is incredibly focused on their career, building a large business and working late into the night. It is easy to look at these people and feel a sudden sense of pressure, wondering if we should copy their lifestyle. But have you ever noticed that you can deeply admire a painting on a wall without wanting to paint your own house in those exact same colors? We can look at the achievements and choices of others with total warmth and genuine happiness for them without needing to turn our own lives upside down to match them. I don't ask, what is everybody around me doing? And so that's what I need to do. When you stop treating life like a competition, you suddenly find a wonderful sense of space in your mind. You realize that another person's success does not mean your own simple path is a failure. A rose does not look at a tall tree and try to grow branches. It simply opens its petals and is beautiful exactly where it stands. Imagine how boring the world would be if every single person built the exact same house, wore the exact same clothes, and thought the exact same thoughts. The variety of human life is what makes our world feel so interesting and warm. You don't need to look like the sheep. You are you. When you walk through your day with this perspective, you can walk past the modern shop windows and the popular internet trends with a peaceful heart. You can say to yourself, "That is beautiful for someone else, but my own simple, quiet path is beautiful for me." Why is your unique life a beautiful gift to the world? Sometimes we think that being different means we are separating ourselves from the people we love. We worry that if we don't follow the exact same traditions or copy the popular lifestyle of our social circle, we will be left out. But true belonging never comes from hiding your true face or changing your voice to match the background noise. True belonging happens when you bring your authentic, honest self into the room. Think about the people in your life who bring you the most comfort and genuine peace. Are they the ones who look exactly like everyone else, copying every trend on television? Or are they the ones who are completely comfortable in their own skin, offering you a warm, honest smile and a listening ear? When you allow yourself to be unique, you quietly give everyone around you the permission to do the exact same thing. Your choice to live at your own unforced pace becomes a gentle, quiet invitation for others to drop their heavy armor too. What makes you doesn't need to be something that's immoral or obnoxious or uncomfortable, but just uniquely you. It is simply the way you make a hot cup of tea for a friend when they are tired. It is the specific, calm way you look at a problem at work when everyone else is rushing and panicking. It is your decision to stay home on a weekend to work on a small, personal hobby that gives you pure, private joy. When you stop forcing yourself to fit into a common framework, you naturally bring something fresh and steady into our shared human tapestry. You can look at your everyday choices and realize that you saw no need to change. You were you, and you could go on being you with absolute ease. We finally see that when we honor our own true nature, we are not taking anything away from the world. We are actually giving it the most honest, beautiful thing we have to offer, our own quiet, unforced peace. Now that we have explored these deeper perspectives together, let us talk about how we can bring this unforced peace into our ordinary days. We do not need to make massive, stressful changes to our lives to be true to ourselves. Instead, we can practice 3 simple, concrete micro-habits that take just a few minutes, but help us feel steady and comfortable in our own skin. The first micro-habit is what I like to call the daily unedited 10 minutes. Every single day, we are being watched, evaluated, or tempted to share our lives online. For this practice, I invite you to choose just 10 minutes every day to do an ordinary activity completely for yourself, with your phone turned completely off. You might sit by the window and drink your morning coffee in total silence while the sunlight enters the room. You might use a simple pen to sketch a small leaf in an old notebook, or gently water the plants on your balcony. The strict rule for these 10 minutes is that you cannot take a photograph of it, you cannot post about it, and you cannot tell anyone what you did. It is a private, sweet secret between you and your true self. This tiny habit teaches your mind that your personal joys are valuable and real, even when nobody else is watching or clapping for them. The second micro habit is what I like to call the soft, direct decision. Many times, we say yes to popular trends, modern social habits, or small invitations that we do not actually want to attend. Then, we spend hours creating complex stories or fake excuses in our heads because we are afraid of looking different. This week, try practicing a very simple, polite no without adding any long explanations or justifications. If someone invites you to a crowded event that you know will leave you feeling tired, you can smile gently and say, "Thank you so much for thinking of me, but I am going to stay home and rest tonight." You do not need to apologize for needing a different rhythm than the crowd. You do not need to invent a fake busy schedule to protect your choice. By giving a soft, honest answer, you are training yourself to be comfortable with your own true boundaries. The third micro habit is what I like to call the morning mirror breath. Before you open your phone to check social media, and before you step out into the busy noise of the street, walk to your mirror. Look at your reflection for just 3 slow, gentle seconds. Place one hand flat against your chest. Take a deep breath and let your shoulders drop completely away from your ears. As you look at your eyes, say this simple phrase quietly to yourself. There is only one me, and that is exactly how it should be. This small action takes less than a minute, but it sets a beautiful wall of emotional safety around your identity before the world tries to tell you who you should be. It is a small, daily promise that you will not leave yourself behind to chase the approval of the crowd. As we bring our quiet journey to a close today, let us take one more slow, deep breath together. We have looked at how natural it is to watch the crowd, but we have also seen the beautiful clarity that comes when we choose our own paths. Remember the profound insights we shared during our walk today. True confidence cannot grow if we are constantly changing our shape to make the people around us happy. You cannot feel comfortable in your everyday life if you do not pause to listen to who you truly are inside. Your specific way of thinking, your unique style of resting, and your quiet personal choices are exactly what make your life work so beautifully. So, as you step back into your ordinary routine, leave the heavy expectations of social media and television networks outside your door. Be proud of your simple habits, your comfortable worn clothes, and your quiet weekend routines. It's not a bad thing to be unique. It's not a bad thing to be different. And it is a wonderful thing to be completely at home in your own skin. When you honor your authentic self, you will find that being you, it works perfectly. Before you go, if this lesson touched your heart or helped you in any way, I would be incredibly grateful for your support. A simple like or subscription may seem small, but it helps these messages reach more people who are searching for encouragement, growth, and understanding. Thank you for spending these moments with me. Your support, your trust, and your presence in this community mean the world to me. Goodbye for now, friend.